am going to be talking about one of my favorite things, and this is like my number one rule for breaking the overcommitting habit, right? And it's just like so important to learn this if you really want to say no, because I think people think just saying no really well and just having a script and just learning that is actually the best way. Um, but we're going to talk about today why it's not, and that there's something actually better that's going to like build your confidence, make you feel good while you're doing it. And the best thing is that you can actually keep saying yes if you want to. You don't even have to do the hard part yet. It's really just practicing getting confidence of even just like a little small pushback. But really what it's doing is breaking the habit. So rather than just replacing the words, that doesn't really change the habit. It's actually focusing on breaking the automatic yes that you do, the automatic, like, yeah, I'll do that without even thinking, right? Without even acknowledging yourself or what you're doing. So this is so fun. I cannot wait to share this with you guys. I know you're going to find it super helpful, and I would love to hear what you think below. So if you got any comments on it, please let me know. Okay. Oh, and also, by the way, before I start, I do apologize. I've got no makeup on. I am truly authentic today. I don't know if you can see, but I've got a very, very sore eye. For those of you that don't know me very well in my story, I have an autoimmune disease. That means my body attacks itself regularly. And I can have like flare ups and things. And so this is one of them, which means I can't wear makeup or moisturizers or anything on my face because it will literally go crazy. And of course, no contact lenses, and we have to have the professional glasses on, which I don't mind because I do love them. But I just find they reflect sometimes. So this is natural. This is au naturel, and let's get into this number one rule that I want to share with you. Okay. The number one rule that I have, it is called a buffer boundary. And this is something I share in my online course. So if you haven't got access to that yet, drop a me down below and I will send you all the details for that. But this like breaks it down even more. But basically what a buffer boundary is it's a way to say no without actually saying no. So it's a way to pause, to be able to say, oh, well, hold on a minute, rather than coming up with this automatic helper, fixer, pleaser response. This way you can actually give yourself some time to reflect, and it really gives you the space to push back against that person without the fear that you have to then say no and then these are the repercussions and whatever. It kind of gently gets people used to you pushing back, because don't forget, they're going to be so used to you just saying yes. They're going to be so used to you just being like, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, no worries. In your head, you're like, why would I commit to that? I'm so burnt out. Like, I'm so tired. All I want to do is sleep. You could be like, oh, I'm going to let this person down now. Like, now I have to feel bad about that because I'm not going to this because I have to stay late at work, right? So this way of doing it allows you to start beginning with boundaries and start changing that automatic yes with literally one sentence. One sentence, that's it. That's all you need to do. So I'm going to give you some examples that are going to help you, right? So let's say you're at work and your boss asks you to stay late. You could say something like, the typical you would say, yes, oh yeah, no worries, okay, but even though you're thinking in your head, I don't know if I can even do that, but I'm just going to say yes because that's what I automatically do. And we've got that in our awareness now, right? So instead of that, we're just going to take a moment to pause, and we're going to use a buffer boundary, right? And we're going to say, let me check my calendar and get back to you. Or we might say something like, can I have a moment to evaluate my workload? And I'll let you know. I think it's really that simple. Like, it's really, I think it's just the coolest thing that I tried, and I just found it such a better way to build my confidence, because then I could go back and be like, like, even if I knew I couldn't, or like I still was at capacity, I still had the ability to say yes. And I think my biggest fear was that, that person was not going to be happy with me, or there's going to be negative consequences, or I was really worried about what they'd think. And so this way allowed me to kind of like learn to push back and learn to be assertive and say, I deserve to be thought about too, or my needs matter too, but also be able to say yes at the end of it. So I didn't feel so afraid doing it. And that was really impactful, because to share some, some real life stories, I kind of went from like 0 to 100. So I went from like saying yes to everything to like being like no. And that was really confrontational. It actually made me feel really unwell, like emotionally, and really hypercritical and not great about myself. Does that make sense? So because I was just like, oh yeah, well, I've got these awesome scripts, so I should just be able to say no now. The guilt and the overwhelm and the anxiety after, actually it didn't help me at all. So I realized, I was like, how can I start to change this automatic habit without being so intense, without being so direct? And it's no different. Think about it from like jumping in a swimming pool, right? The scripts, the say no scripts, are the deep end, and the buffer boundaries are the shallow, right? So you're just jumping into the shallow end and learning to swim, and you can still say no to going into the deep end, right? And you can still say you don't want to go into the deep end yet, but you've still created some skill set to be able to put boundaries in place. That's how I see it. And then what I was doing before was like just jumping in the deep end every time. Well, no wonder you feel like you're drowning and you're anxious and you're overwhelmed and guilty and stressed about it, because no one wants to be pushed in the deep end when they can't swim. And remember, saying no is a skill. You've never learned it. I've never learned it. No one ever taught me this. And the one I created in my head was to say yes to everything, because that's what kept me safe, right? And I know you know what I mean. So what we're doing here is buffer boundaries, and why they're my favorite and why they're like my number one rule is because even with healthy people, I still go in like 90% of the time into the shallow end, like shallow end first and then into the deep end. With the people I trust, I can get to that deep end real quick, but with people that seem scary or intimidating, or that I know there's going to be some sort of repercussion or consequence, obviously it takes me a little bit longer, and I can feel like then I'm just avoiding the deep end as well. So together with like buffer boundaries and scripts, it's a super powerful recipe. But if you're really struggling with confidence and really struggling with anxiety and overwhelm, 100% start with these buffer boundaries. Like, please start with them. They are so amazing, and they're just going to build your confidence up to be able to speak up for yourself and just become a little bit more assertive of your boundaries. So really it's just putting in a boundary of like, I'm not going to answer that straight away. I'm going to take time to think about myself. That's like a massive deal to pleasers. I don't know if that's a massive deal to everyone, but that is a massive deal to pleasers, like, and to people that have never done this before, that have always said yes and felt like their value is attached to how much they give, and their worth is attached to them always serving other people. This is huge. It's not something that you just don't feel bad about. It's something that can cause really negative side effects if you don't do this a really healthy way. And I want you to be able to build your confidence. That's why you're here. That's why I share this stuff. This is why if you've got any questions, jump them down below, because I want to hear them. I want to support you. Like, give me a situation. Like, I've got this situation and I want, what do I say? Like, how would I do a buffer boundary for that? Let's talk about it. Let's get you going in it. That's my baby, by the way. Hopefully he resettles. Always the way. He normally sleeps at this time. Luckily I've got someone here to support. But yeah, this is a really good one. Now I have a little book of buffers handout that you guys can actually use if you want. It's free. You can have it. I will send it to you. If you comment buffers down below, I will send you 55 buffer examples, and they're all sectioned into work, friends, family, like all the different situations that you might find yourself in, to help you to be able to put buffers into your life right now. And I know you'll find it super helpful. It's pretty much like all the things that I just started writing down as I was learning buffers, and put into a book. And yeah, now I've kind of sectioned it off, and there's 55 examples for you. So you just have one-liners. They're one-liners. They're so easy to use. And I just, yeah, just they are yours. Take them. Take and run with them. Again, if you want information to more complex versions of those, and how to say no, and basically the whole pool, from the shallow, to before jumping into the pool, to the shallow end, to the middle ground, like checking that you're ready, to all the way into the deep end, then please let me know. I am happy to share that as well. And that's it for today. I really hope that you start using buffer boundaries, and I really hope that you can see and feel, like not just see the difference, but like feel the difference in your life putting these into place. Because at first they're going to feel a bit uncomfortable, but it's no different, like I said, from jumping in that pool. It's going to be something you feel a bit anxiety inducing, but we're doing it as progressive as we can, as confidence building as we can. And that's what I want for you guys, like to work on this slowly and get the best results. None of this, oh, well, the answer's logical, the solution's obvious. You just start saying no. That's actually not helpful. Thank you to everyone that hasn't struggled with this before. This way is so much more effective, and it's going to be so much more beneficial to your life. Don't forget, just comment buffers below. I'm going to send you 55 free buffers, and if you've got any other questions, let me know. And if not, I will see you next week for some more awesome support.